should we start on the study that you sent across this morning, which kind of tickled my appetite?
Exactly.
Because Mark's been sounding like an insane conspiracy theorist, trying to link 5G LED lampposts with Gateshead Council and a funeral service that they set up. And to be fair to Mark, I thought he was a bit of a loony, trying to kind of add those up and say this is what's going on. And then this study was published literally yesterday, and Mark showed it to me this morning, and everything just suddenly went click, 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 where basically Gateshead Council, and I did a bit of digging today as well, and Gateshead Council have part funded this study, and it's part of a larger UK austerity report handled by Philip Elston. And Philip Elston, it works for the UN, and he's been working for the UN for years. And he's been going all around the world doing all of these kind of studies. And he has direct links to George Soros. So that's when my ears really pricked up on this whole thing. And essentially what this study's saying is that universal credit and Great Depression in the Gateshead Council region is creating huge increases in mental health problems, and we all know what happens when there's a mental health epidemic. People start dying sooner, and people start increase it, and the deaths of people start to increase. And now this study is saying this, and Mark was trying to make the link to everybody that the council have set up this funeral service for a reason. So, Mark, do you want to go over your not so much of a conspiracy theory?
It's not so much of a conspiracy theory anymore, is it?
No, it's not.
No,
yeah.
It's quite worrisome. I've always understood that this technology is dangerous. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a letter here. I don't know if this might blow up so people can actually read it. But this is from Gateshead Council. I sent this. This was a 217 letter. And I'd actually sent them quite a lot of scientific documentary evidence to show that there would be an increase in mortality, in stroke, heart attack, etc., because this is what this technology causes.
Mark, could you just scroll this up from the top down, please, whilst you're talking?
Yeah. It's the interesting bit.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. Steele, thank you for your query. I'll not bore you with the whole email because it's a bit of a bore. It just basically gives you the same old bullshit that the precautionary advice is that there's no evidence to show that microwave radiation harms humans. However, it's used on the battlefield as a weapon, so that you can basically take that with a pinch of salt. I mean, these idiots have never seen any of the Brundtland weaponry systems. Otherwise, they would know that microwave radiation is in fact a weapon. In fact, if you want to cause rats to develop diabetes, you expose them to 2.5 gigahertz frequency, and I can go into that all that sort of stuff later on. But what he basically says to me here, right, the paper published Scientific American, because I sent him a paper from Scientific American, you can see it here, where reference notes potentially complex rise in strokes in North America, and it does not suggest microwave radiation, but we know microwave radiation increases blood pressure. We also know it damages the blood-brain barrier. That's a stroke. So he's saying it doesn't suggest. I know it causes stroke, because obviously I'm not as stupid as what this guy is. Not most certainly I'm not on the wages that he'd be on either. They call them gagging salaries. But what he actually states here, he says, in Gateshead, deaths due to cardiovascular disease have reduced significantly in recent years, although the rate of deaths due to stroke have remained somewhat unchanged. He's a liar. They've had a near 25% increase in stroke over the period. They've had a significant spike in heart attack deaths in Gateshead since the technology was rolled out. Now
So,
that's
so,
pretty.
so sorry, Mark. Can we pause it there? What year was the technology rolled out in Gateshead?
The main rollout started sometime in 2013. This is PHE, this is Public Health
Yeah,
England's profile, and as you see, this is the
yeah,
latest and greatest is 216. So at two
right.
years, near 3 years, we're coming into 219, and there isn't any further data. You see here under mortality rate, cardiovascular, this is
Yes,
specific to Gateshead. Now I want everybody to have a look at this because you'll see the national trend is still falling away. But you
yeah.
see that he's
I
actually got a he's got an increase now. What you've got
yeah,
to ask yourself the question: he was actually asked this information in 2017. So why did somebody who has his hands on this information lie to me? Because what that tells me there, right? There's another 18 people died. That's the number there, the actual number 480. So there was
yeah,
another 18
yeah.
people
I get
died.
it. How do you think that these deaths link in um with the funeral service?
Well, the director, the director for the two 5G telecoms companies at Gateshead Council have stated that they don't have, believe it or not, is the strategic director at Gateshead Council, but he's also the director in the funeral business. So he's a director in the funeral business, and he is the director to 5G telecoms companies, all of which have been denied by the local authority. You know, we don't pay these people to tell lies. You know, I mean, you have to ask yourself the question: why would Gateshead Council? It is there.
Yeah,
It's the only local authority in the country, states
yeah.
quite clearly. It's become the first local authority in the UK. This is the local authority who's one of the first experimental test areas for 5G,
Yeah.
right? Kept under wraps secretly and covertly, and it's developed to launch its own
Okay.
funeral service.
I think it would be valuable right now to set aside the 5G and LED street lamp points right now, because this actually stands up on its own as something's going on in Gateshead. A report's just come out yesterday, basically saying that there's a mental health epidemic in Gateshead, and we all know what that means in terms of increase of stress, depression. It means an increase of cancer, and it obviously means an increase in death. They've just launched a funeral service, and I just looked this morning, and most of these people who are, it actually says in the study that all of these people are on universal credit, right? And and the thing that most people with universal credit have in common is they're all really, really poor. So I just did a quick little search with Mark this morning, and I found that if the family members, or if there aren't any family members, well, first of all, if there aren't any family members, and the person has no money or no assets, the state pays for the funeral, and obviously taking away the body and etc. And if the family can't afford it, again, it goes back to the government funding the funeral of these dead people. So it's just for me, like as I said, Mark's not a conspiracy nut anymore. To everybody, even the most hardened journalists have to look at this and genuinely say, without even looking at at what's going on, what's been proven, and what is going on with Gateshead Council here, is they are profiting from people's deaths. They are looking for new sources of revenue because they're on the tipping point. They're one of the councils that are on the tipping point of going bankrupt. So they're struggling to try to find more money, and this is why I think that they've taken on the 5G aspect and the LED street lamps as well, because obviously it's a revenue gen. They think that they're going to get a boost in the economy through what they believe 5G will bring. I don't think that's really going to happen.
Well,
I
it's
think,
most certainly the exact opposite.
yeah,
I've already stated, and I've made no bones about it. 5G is an existential threat, and it's economic terrorism. It makes people sick.
yeah,
The increase in people who are developing dementia in Gateshead, that's why Gateshead Council go bankrupt. You don't pay rates when you start to suffer from dementia. People are kept in homes, massive burden on the
yeah,
public purse. As consequently, we've seen significant increases in dementia. These transmitters cause dementia. We know they do. We know they cause diabetes and dementia. The science is absolutely proven. This is not for discussion anymore. I mean, I'm sick of people mentioning about IC and IRP guidelines. IC and IRP guidelines apply to cooking. It's a thermal value, and you're only supposed to be exposed for a maximum of 6 minutes.
yeah,
These transmitters are on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they cause dementia. Period.
yeah.
So we've got an absolute horrendous issue going on in the area. Obviously, they've carried out this particular study, which is more than suspicious, basically identifying and I'm not saying that people don't get depressed, however, when they're on universal benefits. However, let's go back to the 30s. People weren't committing suicide hand over fist in the 30s, and they had a lot less than what they have on universal credit. I can tell you, people were living on a slice of bread a week. So let's not kid ourselves. Human beings are pretty robust, but if you blast them with microwave radiation that causes neurological disorders, we know that.
Yeah. Around around the issues, because a lot of people that be listening to this have sent out FOIs or they've read them and they've seen what the public health, was it the Public Health of England have come back with, and other departments, where they say to go back to the what is it, I can never remember it, the
ICNIRP.
they've deliberately made it like that just to make it really complicated, but they're the International Commission of Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection. Okay, so and I've actually looked into this report, and there's another doctor who's done a brilliant article, and it's on smombygate.org, where we've gone into detail of the report they've just published, because they're rushing through this new report to update it, because technology is moving so fast. These people are so slow that they're having to basically, and literally what they're doing with this report is that they've just gone in and they've amended the report, the last report on 4G, and they've just basically updated parts of the report saying that it's got the same health risks and effects as 4G or 3G. And the technology, as you all know now, if you've been watching this video, you know that that is completely incorrect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
so the thing that Mark's attempting to do is trying to actually bring Gateshead Council to the table, and he's trying to coach them. He's trying to teach them that the fact that 5G is not what they think it is.
5G is
not
certainly not, David. The judge in the civil case warned Gateshead Council and told them they had to open up the democratic process and allow me and to answer my questions. What happens? They've just sent me more threatening communications. I'm going to read this out.
Yeah.
This is ICNIRP, and this is off their website. Now, would you trust an organisation like this? It says, undertakes all reasonable measures to ensure the reliability of information presented on the website, but does not guarantee the correctness, reliability, or completeness of the information and views published. The content of our website is provided to you for information only. Now, that's the ICNIRP, but also Professor Paolo Vecchi in 2008, the head of ICNIRP at the time at a conference in London, turned around and said, let no one use ICNIRP guidelines as a defensive war. This is a moving story, and what's happened, we've got what I'm going to state they most certainly are, criminals with criminal intent who are disregarding their duty of care to the public in relation to this technology, because
Yeah.
either someone's taken a bung somewhere or somebody's misinformed somewhere. But what I was certainly absolutely sure about, and the recorder Nolan QC basically allowed me to say it in court, Gateshead Council have conspired to introduce into our community an unlawful and illegal technology, because that's exactly what it is.
But so this is where this is where a lot of people start wincing, Mark, because you're um, and a lot of people have problems with it, and
No, it's horrendous.
obviously mainstream media have problems with it, and a lot of people who want to kind of take on board what you're saying um, want to believe what you're saying, but when you start going into that kind of area of actually accusing them of conspiracy to commit crimes to its citizens is quite a serious allegation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what you have to remember, David, they have had all of the documentary scientific evidence from me when I first came across this technology in my near locality, where I had women bleeding from the nose. We had a number of women lost babies. I brought this to the attention of the council. I thought that they had made a mistake. However, after I pushed them a little bit, I realised that they hadn't made a mistake. This is the time when people really need to wake up and realise, because this just isn't in Gateshead. Unfortunately, Gateshead were tested, and unfortunately for Gateshead Council and the clowns who are behind this, the criminals, what I'm going to call them, their real name, they are monsters.
But there is a catch. Millimeter waves can't travel well through buildings or other obstacles, and they tend to be absorbed by plants and rain.